In this video, we're going to be going over the 3 levers that you can pull as an e-commerce business owner to increase your ROAS. Now, this is one of the most important metrics account-wide that you need to be monitoring and following because it's actually going to determine how much you can really spend. If you're only getting $1 back for every dollar that you spent, you're not going to be able to scale as much as if you're getting $1, $2, $1, 3, 4, even 5 out, right? So there's 3 levers that you can pull in order to really make that happen. So the first one is going to be your average order value. Okay, your AOV is one of the most important things that you can do because let's face it, with rising ad costs, with more people going onto the platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Google, etc., you can only get your costs so low. You even know this with your inventory. So what you can actually do is increase this by adding more upsells, adding frequently bought widths, and doing other things like that on the back end if you have a standard CPA. So what do I mean by that? Well, here's an example. If your cost per acquisition is 30 bucks and you're selling a $50 item, well, that's not really a great ROAS, right? You're spending 30, you're getting 50 back. That's maybe like a 1.6, right? So what you can actually do on the back end of this $50, you can add more upsells, okay? So this is gonna be more inventory either of the same product or these could be different bundles. So if you're selling, let's say supplements, right? I just bought whey protein or I just bought, creatine or something like that. There's other organic supplements that I can just upsell on the back end, such as, BCAAs or any water bottles, joggers, things like that I can do, even though they may not correlate on the front end what your offer is, they're easily able to be sold on the back end because once you pay the 30 bucks, just because they bought this first $50 item doesn't mean that they're done buying, right? You can continuously upsell them on the back end. So that's the first thing that you can do is increasing your average order value by adding more things on the back end for upsells and your frequently bought widths. The second thing that you can do is increase your lifetime value. So let's say that you spend the same $30 and all they bought was the $50 item on the first go around, right? That's only a 1.6, but if you can layer that in with having them make multiple purchases, then this number will continue to increase. So let's say that I bought this $50 item, it's the whey protein, cool. If they didn't go through any of the upsells right now, then I need to back off a little bit and actually drip them into an email marketing sequence. Now, maybe, they didn't buy that product because it was a little too pricey, or maybe they didn't buy it because they were just in a rush or something like that, right? So what you can do is actually drip them via SMS and via email over time and actually get more and more purchases from them. This is called your lifetime value. You can do this with a subscription model. Maybe there's a newsletter and a bunch of free content that you can give out, or you can do this with actual physical inventory. So the $50, let's say you start sending them coupon codes, whether that's a 10% off, a 50% off. If you do anything like that, you want to create urgency out of it so that way this increases, right? So those are some things that you can do to create urgency with it, but you can also just have a lifetime value for your customer where you're constantly getting purchases when the supply runs out for their protein, etc. Now, the last thing that you can do, and this is a little bit more of a ninja trick because these are some very fundamental parts of e-commerce, is actually lead gen, right? Now, you may be wondering, why would I use lead gen in ecom? Well, think about it. If your cost per acquisition, your CPA is constantly 30 bucks, and no matter what you do, you just can't get it down, you need to switch your approach, right? So what if you actually created a free ebook or you created some value-based content that people can opt in and subscribe to? Well, let's say that you do that and your lead cost now comes down to $5. They opt in, they put in their name, their email, their phone number. Well, now you just reduced your costs to get a potential customer by 6x, right? Because now you have this information, and if you add these other pillars to it, now you feed them back into your conversion campaigns with remarketing because they're segmented, and now this cost will actually come down since you already paid a premium to get them, which was only $5, right? So these are other ways that you guys can think about e-commerce, how to ultimately increase your ROAS, which is ultimately putting in $1 and get the most out. So I hope you guys found value out of this video. If you have any questions, comment below, and if you want us to work with you, go to ScaleBold.io.